Greetings. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be testing and reviewing this brand new radio from Retevis. Now, this is called the EZTalk 5. It's a GMRS FRS radio. And Retevis was very nice to send me a pair of these in order to do a complete test and review and to videotape or video how I would use this radio out when I'm hiking with my fiance or if I'm out off-roading. So I will be doing two separate videos. I'll be doing, first of all, today's video, which is a complete test and review like I always do. And then I will also be going out into the field, and instead of using my regular radios, I'll be using this Retevis EZTalk 5. Again, this is a GMRS FRS radio, and we'll see how well it performs. And I might even take it out in my new ATV, and we'll see how well it performs out there. And we'll see how it does in all the dust and everything too. So anyway, kick back, relax, and when I come back, we'll start in with the specifications. Be right back. All right, first, before I get into it, just a few announcements. First of all, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. The algorithm for YouTube just loves it when you subscribe. So if you also like my content, please consider clicking on the bell icon so you'll get notifications when I do release a new video. All right, so as you know, I'm doing a complete test and review on this brand new radio, the Retevis EZTalk 5. Now, there's also a ham radio version of this. It's called the EZTalk 65. So I don't have one of those, but Retevis was very nice to send me a pair of these so I can use them not only in my channel here for doing a complete test and review, but also so I can use them out in the field and show people how I actually do use them. And we'll give them a little bit of a torture test and see how well they actually work, okay? So that'll be a second video, not this video, but the second video I'll be taking them out into the field with me. But as I always do, I like to go through the specifications first. The radio is rather large radio, very thick, because it's got a good sized battery. It's a 2000 milliamp battery. It does come with a cradle charger, but it also comes with a USB-C cable. No wall wart and no way to plug it into anything, so you're going to have a power source for it. Comes with a wrist strap, instruction booklet with 32 pages of good English, but a little bit of Chinglish here and there in the instructions, but they are pretty good instructions. I've got to give them a lot of credit. Also, let's see, comes with your antenna and a belt clip. I think that was about it. All right. So the frequencies that this radio covers is GMRS FRS only. Controls are just an on-off button, which is right here. Okay. And it's a LCD color display. And the LCD does get washed out a bit in the sun. Let's see. You don't get any color choices or changes on the screen. It does have some menu. It has a menu power button and an exit button, which is also the power button. So if you don't want to turn the radio off, you just hit the button very quickly. If you want to turn the radio on and off, then you hold the button down. It does have up and down arrow keys. Now, to change the channel, you just push the arrows up and down. But if you want to change the volume, you need to hit the volume button, which is this one right here. And then you hit the up and down arrow keys, and that changes the volume. And then there's also a call button and a lock button, so you can't change the channels on the radio by accident. Let's see. It only comes in this nice green color. I really like the green color. Some people say that it looks like a toy. I don't think so. I like the way as you know, I have quite a few green radios, so it's just one of my favorites. Let's see, what else is there? Okay, it has the SMA male antenna connector, just like the Baofeng radios do, which means your antenna has the SMA female connector. So you should, if you've got a whole box full of antennas, which like I do, you'll have a choice of antennas that you might want to be able to try on here. Now, this is USB-C charging. However, the battery itself does not have a USB socket on it. There is right here, underneath this rubber cover thing, is a USB-C charging port. So you can see it right there. All right, so you plug the cable into the radio itself, and then the light here comes on, and it will be red when you're charging, and it'll turn green when the battery is fully charged. All right, so that's how you charge the battery. Now the battery is held on by 2 screws. So this is pretty solid radio, man. It's also a little on the heavy side, but I think this is designed for and marketed towards people who are out in the backwoods, out roughing it, out really using their radios in a real rough manner, sort of like maybe to compete with Rocky Talkies and all that kind of stuff as well. So anyway, so I kind of like the way these radios feel in my hands. The frequency, of course, is only GMRS FRS on transmit and receive. It is programmable. All right, so when I come back, we'll start with the testing, and we'll see how things work out. I'll be right back. All right, well, first thing I always do is I test the antenna that comes with the radio. Now, this is a dual band antenna. It's not a GMRS only antenna. And I've set up my antenna test bed, and I've already set the baseline. I have a baseline of actual SWR 1.00, which is just absolutely perfect. So now I have the antenna, the OEM antenna that comes with the radio on the test bed, and we're going to test it for SWR, and we come up with an SWR of 1.21 to 1. Okay, very good. Be right back. All right, as I always do, I always run a second test to back up the results I get with the power SWR meter with the Nano VNA. And the Nano VNA is right now set for 2 meters, which we are not testing on. We are going to test on the GMRS band, which shows right here. And we have a SWR of 2.259. All right, running the field strength test on the Retevis EZTalk 5 radio with stock OEM antenna. I always run this test at the prescribed distance, same distance every single time. In this case, the only thing that's changed is the radio and antenna that I'm using, and we should be able to compare some of these results with some of the other radios that I've tested this against. So let us test the field strength now, channel 17. All right, next I'm testing the power output of the radio to a dummy load, which is on the connected to the back of the SWR meter, power meter. And so here we go. On high power on channel 17, we come up with 2.78 watts, so just under 3 watts. All right, as you can tell, it's windy out here at Fox Glen Park. That's the reason why I was inside today at the beginning of this video. It was just so windy at my house. I just couldn't, the tripod kept blowing over with my camera on it, so I didn't want to deal with that. Anyway, here I am out at Fox Glen Park. It's beautiful out here today. Even though it's cool and it's windy, I still love it out here. So Fox Glen Park is about 2.6, 2.7 miles from my shack as the crow flies. And I use this area for testing radios and antennas in particular, because I am partially blocked by this, in the area that I'm in, by a building, a home, a bunch of trees, a freeway overpass, a partial hill, and an outbuilding that's over here. So anyway, let us test this Retevis EZTalk 5 GMRS FRS radio, and let's see how it works. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing the Retevis EZTalk 5 GMRS radio for modulation and for signal strength.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing the Retevis EZTalk 5 GMRS radio for modulation and for signal strength.
All right. Well, I think that was an excellent test. I had very little, if any, static that I could hear. So, as you know, I always rate the modulation tests as to whether I've got good modulation and how much static is coming in with that modulation. It's an excellent test if I have little to none. It's a good test if I have a fair amount of static, but still good modulation. I have a fair test if I have a lot of static and the modulation starts breaking up. And it's a failing test if I fail to hit the repeater or hold open the repeater, or if I get back so much static that I can't understand what is being said back to me, then I consider that a failing test. And this was an excellent test. So actually, I'm pretty impressed with these Retevis EZTalk 5 radios. They're actually pretty good. I'm not a huge GMRS fan, but boy, I got to tell you, if I were a GMRS user, I would consider these radios if you're going out to buying one. So anyway, when you see me next, I'll be back at my shack, and I'll give you my feelings and my opinions on this radio and how it performed, and I'll go through all the tests that I performed, and I'll let you decide what you think of these radios, okay? All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm out here at my super secret test area, one that nobody else out here today, so it might really be super secret. Last time I was out here, there was a bunch of other people out here, so it's not so super secret. But anyway, so I have this area that I've tried testing. It's about 3.7 miles, 3.8 miles from my shack. I don't have good line of sight. I've got plenty of hills, everything, all kinds of people or all kinds of things blocking my signal. So I am going to try using this Retevis EZTalk 5 and seeing if I can get through to my repeater. Let's see. Testing, the Retevis EZTalk 5 and the super secret testing area. Testing, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Testing, the Retevis EZTalk 5 and the super secret testing area. Testing, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Well, that did pretty darn good. I wouldn't call it an excellent test. I'd probably call it a good plus test. But I'm pretty impressed with this silly thing. I like this radio. It's actually working pretty good for me. I'm kind of surprised. Anyway, so I'm going to add this into the video and see if you guys like it. Give me comments and let me know if you like the extra tests that I just ran at the super secret test area here in Flagstaff, Arizona. Okay, listen, next time you see me now, I will be back in my shack for sure. All right, be right back. All right. So I'm back from Fox Glen Park and my super secret testing area that nobody knows about except for the people that were there. So what did we learn today about the Retevis EZTalk 5? All right, well, first of all, once again, I want to thank Retevis for providing me with the 2 radios. This is my first of 2 videos, so I will be making another one, doing kind of a lifestyle kind of video. I'll be going out with my fiance somewhere out in the woods around the forest around here somewhere, and we're going to be doing some hiking, and she'll go in one direction, I'll go another. We'll be using them. So that's usually what we do, and I usually use my little Baofeng radios, but this time we're going to use the Retevis EZTalk 5 radios for that. So we'll be videotaping it this time. All right, so let's get into some of the testing. All right, first of all, the antenna. With the antenna using the power SWR meter, I got an SWR of 1.21 to 1. With the Nano VNA, it was 2.259 to 1, which is quite a bit different. Really kind of surprised at that. But on the other hand, you know what? Performance is everything. So let's see how this thing performed. On the field strength test, we got a plus 1.9 dB. That is excellent. Considering the wattage, maximum wattage on this was just under 3 watts. That is excellent. I have 5 and 6 watt radios that don't quite get that high. So that's pretty darn good. That means that the antenna is working well, the power is good, and everything like that. So that was really well. So what about our modulation and S meter readings at distance? Well, here's what I found. First of all, I got, back here at my shack, I got an S meter reading of 8.0. Not exactly burning up the airwaves with that. However, it's still a good reading. So I'm going to consider it a good reading. A fair would probably be around 7 to 7.5. Anything under 7 is going to fail. So that's just how it works. So 8.0 is good. However, the modulation was excellent. Such a little bit of static, barely hear the static on the return, and that was really, really good. That means it's getting out, it's getting to the repeater's getting back, repeating the modulation without the static. So really good. I mean, I'm impressed for a GMRS only radio. I don't own very many of them, and the ones that I own aren't that great. These were pretty darn good. I'm pretty impressed. Now, let me come back in just a second because I have a litany of things that I liked and didn't like about the radio. So let me go through a list of things that I like and don't like about the radios. First of all, I like how they look. I like the green color. As you can see up here, I've got more green radios. I don't know, I kind of like that green color. But I actually think it's a pretty handsome kind of radio. I like the way it feels in my hand. It is a little on the big side, but my favorite radios are this size and this weight. So, you know, I can't really complain. I just like it. It's good in the hand, man. It's a solid feeling radio. Built kind of like a tank. I've already dropped one of them, and nothing happened to it. What I also like in some respects is the fact that the battery is held on by 2 screws. So guess what? You go drop that, the battery's not going to separate from the radio. It's pretty obvious that they're marketing this radio for being a rugged, all around, good type radio. You can drop it or you can bang it up against something. The Bluetooth app is solid, pretty solid. It works really well. It's a little annoying because every time you make some sort of a change, it's got to reboot the radio, and when it reboots the radio, then it disconnects, and then you have to reconnect the Bluetooth app. It's a little annoying, but once you get the thing configured, you're not going to be using the Bluetooth app all that much. The next thing I liked about it is that once I got one configured the way I wanted it, the cloning feature works absolutely perfect. I've got radios that are much more expensive than that, and the cloning feature does not work well. Let's see. Okay, here's one problem that I found. And this needs to be fixed, Retevis, if you're listening. If you turn on the NOAA weather alert, it makes the radio not receive on GMRS. In other words, I put the other radio right next to it, within a foot or less, and transmitted on it, and the radio that had the weather alerts turned on could not receive it. And the green light is always on up here. It's on constantly when you put the weather alert on. So that's a problem, and it needs to be fixed, but not a serious. Now, the instructions that you get with the radio call for a call for some features called maps, teams, navigation, a menu called tools, drawn tracks, and geofence. I was not able to find any of those in the Bluetooth app at all. And those are supposed to be part of the Bluetooth app. So couldn't find those. So maybe they're either included with the ham radio version, or maybe I'm not reading everything right and I just a spaz and I can't find them. I don't know. I was not able to implement those particular features that are in the instructions. It does have a GNSS or GPS function. When it's configured and turned on, it does an APRS style location service to the other radios. And while that's really great, I think it's a terrific feature. I use real APRS in my ham radios. The issue that I kind of have with that is that just like APRS, it's annoying. I get annoyed easily. So, oops, sorry about that. I keep forgetting I got a microphone there. This is a good radio. I really do like it. It's a very solid radio. I think if you guys are into GMRS radios, a good basic radio that's solid, not going to break on you, I would consider this radio. To think about it. All right, I think that's about it. Yep, that's everything that that I've got. Next video I do, I'm going to be actually out in the field and I'm going to be doing some hiking, and I'm going to videotape myself, and I hope I can get my fiance to videotape herself, and we'll be doing conversations back and forth. So we'll actually test out the radios and see if we can understand each other and everything is good, and you know, we can get a few miles out of it, and well, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, that real world testing is where it's all at. You know me, as far as I'm concerned, that's where it is. All right. So this is Dave with GMRS test and ham radio GMRS test and review, and I'm just really happy about having a new radio in here. I haven't had a new radio for a while. So anyway, 73, and have a great rest of your week. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.